All right, my name is Michele Nagy. I live here in, actually I live in Ferndale, and I'm a licensed reflexologist, and I serve Bellingham and Mount Vernon at the moment, and of course general areas. I do actually have two different offices. And I think I will just jump into my, my PowerPoint. So a little introduction about reflexology and what it is. And after that, we will go ahead and do some practice for ourselves. First, I own Serene Footfalls, and I specialize in lymphatic drainage and plantar fasciitis. I'm also a reflexology instructor at the Bellevue Massage School. And I'm also currently the membership secretary of the Washington Reflexology Association. What the Reflexology Association does is promote the professionalism of reflexology, and we also have a lobbyist in the state to represent our needs so we don't get swallowed up by the other modalities that also have their own lobbyist. So a little bit about myself. I've been licensed since 2018, so it's been 4 years. Actually, April 9th will be exactly 4 years. I was interested in reflexology back in the 70s when it was a hippie thing to do, but I kind of grew out of it. And back in, I don't know, 2016-ish, no, 2015, when I was learning aroma touch, I realized it was based on reflexology and Chinese medicine. So I wondered if I could find a way to learn it and still earn income for my kitty cats, because they're not going to go out and find themselves a job. So I found a school, Seattle Reflexology. I got licensed by the state, the Department of Health. Before I even finished learning reflexology and getting my certificate, I realized I needed a massage license for the extras that I wanted to do with reflexology. I also got national board certified, and that's what the NBCR stands for beside my name. What national board certified is their written test is used by the Department of Health, Washington's Department of Health, in order to license me. And then I needed to do one more step, which was the practical exam plus a bunch of case studies that I'd have to do. So they hold the reflexologist to a higher standard. A little bit about reflexology. This picture here was found on a Pharaoh's tomb.
I'm so sorry, Michele. Yeah. We are not seeing your PowerPoint.
Oh no, hang on.
So sorry.
That's okay. Let's try that again. That was the only important part.
There we go.
All right, sorry about that. So this picture is a painting that was found on a Pharaoh's tomb. Depends on what books you look at. Some say 2,500, some people say 2,000, some people say 4,500. So it is what it is. But they believe that this is actually reflexology because you can see the different people working on the hands and the feet. And so that's just a symbol for our modality that everybody knows. Reflexology, as we know it today, came over to the United States about 1930-ish. And Eunice Ingham, which is the style that I practice, she built on that, and in 1938 is when she wrote a book that was all about the reflexology as we know it today. Of course, we've learned more, we borrow other people's thoughts and ideas and practices and stuff like that. So what is reflexology? The first one is my little thing that I say, my elevator speech. Your hands, feet, and ears are mini maps of your body. And through your reflex points and your nervous system, I help your body de-stress and relax so it can heal itself. That is a very simple explanation of what it is. So basically, we're going to be doing hands because it's easier than me putting up my feet, but because I usually work on feet. So your hands are mini maps of your body. And so by me working on both your hands, I'm working on your entire body. There has been studies done that it does help with relaxation, with symptoms of chemotherapy, stress reduction, all sorts of things, lymphatic drainage, all sorts of stuff like that. So when you look at a hand, I'll have a map later, but when you look at your hands, if you put them together like this, you will see the whole body. This is your spine, so both halves of your spine. And then the tips of your fingers are is your brain, top of your head, and the bottom is your sacrum. Can you imagine that? Okay. And so whatever's on the right side of your body is in your right hand, whatever's in your left side of your body is in your left hand. The more official description of reflexology is an art and a science that views that hands, feet, and ears are maps that represent the entire body. Reflexology is an effective touch-based modality in which specific thumb and finger techniques are used to stimulate reflexive points. In this manner, a reflexology session can provide deep relaxation, improve circulation, and create overall stress reduction in a gentle, non-invasive way. So a simple explanation with that one is there's certain hand finger movements that we do. Typically we do thumb walking, which you don't have to be perfect with. We do finger walking. And then we do a pivot, which is a little a pressure point that we'll do for you. As lay people and not having the practice to do the finger walking, you can always do more just like little caterpillar moves. I don't know if you can see that. And it doesn't have to be fast and it doesn't have to be hard, because it was actually proven that the size of the nerve dictates the response, not the amount of pressure applied. But in today's society, with people getting massages, they feel like they don't get their money's worth unless there's more pressure. So, but sometimes we do need to use more pressure. It depends on the person's body, like their feet and their hands, what they're like. A lot of times we can do very gentle and light. And most of my clients zone out during their reflexology session. And that's very complimentary to me because I know I'm doing my job then. Benefits of reflexology. The ones that are always listed is reduce stress and anxiety, reduction of pain. It lifts your mood or energizes you and improves overall wellness. Reflexology will get your blood circulation going. It'll get your lymphatic going. It'll de-stress your body. And of course, when you get up, you're going to be in a better mood because your body overall feels better. Did you know you have 26 bones in a foot? That's a quarter of the bones in your body are in your feet. I remember it as a deck of cards. There's 107 muscles, tendons, ligaments. 10 of them are intrinsic, and there's 4 layers. So what intrinsic muscles are is muscles that start and end inside the foot. And then there's 4 layers of muscles in the foot. There's 33 joints and 3 arches. Your hands are very similar to that. There's a couple extra bones in the hands, but it's very similar numbers as well. So if you think about it, that's a lot of stress that's being put on a lot of little tiny bones and muscles and tendons. There's 650 muscles in the body. So again, when you think about it, that's a lot of muscles just in the foot. The widest part of a healthy foot is in the toes. It's not actually here typically, this part of your toes. It's actually the top of your toes. And that's the part that always gets squished in shoes. So when you get a moment, take a look at your shoes and be very judgmental. Are my toes being squished? If they are, I would suggest, if you can, get a wider fitting shoe. A lot of causes from bad shoes. Some of it's hereditary, but most of it's from bad shoes is bunions, calluses, and plantar fasciitis. When your foot is stuck in your shoe very tightly, being squished, you cannot walk properly. And when you don't walk properly, you are not going through the whole gait of a walk, and your reflexive body areas do not get to move or get the proper circulation. So whenever you get a chance, just make sure you just kind of splay them out, move them around. You can do that with your hands as well. And this is from Correct Toes, and they're so right. Babies' feet are designed to provide balance and stability with broad toes, with a broad sole and splayed feet. The feet form our foundation. So if you look at little babies' feet, there's not much definition to the bottoms of their feet yet, because they're there to give you balance and solid. In our society, the foot shape and function change as we age. As soon as the feet start getting exposed to your conventional footwear, toes compress and curl. Rigid footwear and arch support diminish the muscle activation and toe range of motion. So a lot of times the arch support is not doing what it needs to do. And once we start wearing a lot, as we get older, stand on our feet at work all day, stand in high heels, which I used to do, they lose their ability to move independently. Now we're going back to the more barefoot motion, back to the way it used to be. Yes, our feet are still being protected, but at the same time, we're giving them a lot more space. All right, now to the fun stuff. You will be getting you will have access to this map for yourself, and we're not going to go through the whole map, but we're actually going to practice on our hands a little bit. We'll do like a little 10-minute little hand reflexology on ourselves. We're going to focus on relaxation, on stress reduction, that kind of thing. So when you want to go to bed and you're a little bit energized still, this is a good way to relax. You can do it for 5 minutes. You can do it for 10, whatever you want. We're going to be working on the diaphragm. We're going to be working on the solar plexus, the lungs, the heart, and the spleen. So 5. Can you see my little pointer? Okay. So this very middle part here, it's in both palms. It's almost at the base of your third finger is your solar plexus. The solar plexus is a real thing within your body. It's by your spine, where a whole network of nerves actually kind of go by each other. It is when we do reflexology at the beginning and the end, we usually do the solar plexus because that will start your parasympathetic nervous system going. So that's the repair system. Basically, all we have to do is, right here is also the diaphragm, which runs right through it. We'll start with the diaphragm so you can find it. When you have your fingers here and you curl it a bit, do you see this part right here? Starts right at that crease. If you push your thumbs into it, you'll feel your joints up above. Do you feel the joints? Okay, so that whole line there is the diaphragm. So we're going to start with the solar plexus, which is the middle finger down to the diaphragm, and you'll feel a little divot there. And we just hold it, just for as long as it feels good. If you ever feel anything crunchy, little bit tender, you might want to work on it a little bit longer in that spot. Now, when it feels good, we can move on to the other hand and do it in the same spot. You can do little circles if you want with your thumb. I don't know if you can see me doing little circles there. Just on that one spot, just doing little circles. or you can just go back and forth, a little bit pumping, or you can just hold it. Okay, now we'll go back to the actual diaphragm. And so all you do, oops, so you kind of thumb walk. You can finger walk if it doesn't work. Always feel the joints just above your thumb as you're walking. And you're going to want to do that a few times. And pay attention to what's under your thumb. Is it comfortable? Does it hurt? Again, you can do little circles if you prefer. And when you're ready, we can move on to your other hand. If it's, Kelly, if it's easier for you, you can do your hand down or facing yourself. I'm just showing it this way so you can see what I'm doing. It's a little awkward for me too. I found a spot. Because I found a spot, I'm just going to go back and work on that little spot for another minute. And then I'll go once more through. Okay, the next part we're going to do is the lungs. That this whole piece above the diaphragm on both hands. So it's this whole piece right here. So the first thing we do is we're going to thumb walk. We're going to go between the fingers a couple times. Oops, sorry, it's out of the view. Do this. And you go to the next one. You can do it with your finger as well, if it's easier for you to do it with your finger. Now we just do the whole area. And you can do little circles if you want. And then whenever you're ready, we can do our other hand. And we can take up the whole space whenever you're ready. Does that make sense? Oops. Okay, so we're going to go to the heart now. Now, as you know, in your body, your heart is kind of in the middle, but it's more to the left. If you look at this picture on the left hand, the heart is quite large. On this side, the heart is a lot smaller. So when we work on the hand for the heart, you take your left hand first, and it goes from your base of your thumb, and it basically goes up till about your third finger, just this little spot here. And it kind of runs over your lungs because in your body, it takes up the same space, your heart and your lungs, just at different levels. So again, we're just going to start working on that. And again, you can use your thumb, you can use your however is easier for you. Again, if you find a spot, you can always just do a little circle. And we can move on to our other hand. Now, our other hand, you're only going to go to the second digit, doing the same thing. Oops. And then the last thing we're going to work on in this sequence is going to be your spleen. The spleen is on the left side right here. So it's just under your diaphragm line between your fourth and your fifth finger. It's a little tiny thing. So imagine how big your spleen is within your body. Proportionally, that's how much space you want to take up on your hand. So it's just a very small space here. And we just go from, just do like maybe an inch. Might be easier to do with your fingers. Just a little, 2 lines, maybe 1, a little bit lower, 2. And you do that a few times. Okay, and the last thing that we'll do is finish off with the solar plexus again. And so that's again, middle finger goes down right below the diaphragm line. And we just hold it. And the other hand too. And just give your hands a little bit of a rub. How do you feel? So the solar plexus I told you about, the diaphragm, of course, is your breathing, to regulate your breathing. Your heart is the same thing, to make sure you have enough O2 in there and relaxing your whole body. Your heart is about the circulation, and the spleen is all about your immunity. So that's all we're focusing on for this little section. Does anybody have questions about anything reflexology related? Yes, Dan.
Dan has a question.
Yes.
So do you want to keep the hand chart up there?
I was going to take it down unless anybody wants me to keep it up. I can always put it back up.
Okay, sounds good. All right, go ahead, Dan.
You have to unmute yourself.
There we go.
Yeah. When you apply the touch technique, let's say to the spleen, what kind of result should I expect?
Well, if you have actually spleen issues, that's a whole different thing. But in relation to what you're doing, just overall with all these things, you should feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more calm, a lot more less stress.
Okay, so
the spleen, the reason why we added that into it is because right now we have a lot of immunity issues from all sorts of places. Also coming into springtime with the allergy season, the spring colds, all that kind of stuff. So we just want to add a little bit in there just so that there's a little bit more power behind your process. Does that make sense?
So, kind of. I guess my next question would be, does that mean I have to work on all the areas in order to reduce stress? And I mean, for a healthy person with no specific problems.
No, you can work on whatever areas you feel like working on. Mm-hmm. This is just a relaxation technique for you guys to have that's a certain order. If you were come to me and you just wanted relaxation, I would do your whole body because we want to get everything involved. But that would take about an hour.
Okay.
So again, I'm trying to give you something little that you can do at home, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you feel like doing, as opposed to doing a full hour. It's always beneficial to do the whole body, but I don't do the whole body when I'm at home. I just do whatever parts I'm dealing with.
So one more question.
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to do this regularly?
Of course.
Of
Like not
course.
just once or twice and forget about it?
Yeah, no, you do need to do it regularly.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the evening before it's bedtime, get it part of your routine. If you watch TV, do it in front of the TV. Just don't watch news because that'll stress you out. So it defeats the purpose. but
So
you know, or you can do it to each other's hands.
You
You
mean
can do it to Kelly's.
okay,
Kelly, you can do it.
every day?
I would for relaxation.
Thank you very
yeah.
much.
You're
I
welcome.
want to make a comment.
Yes.
We were doing the first one that was right underneath the thumb,
Yeah.
under the middle finger.
Yep.
Feels some, not pain, but a little discomfort on my right hand.
Yep.
Whereas the same area, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
But
So
my foot is, my left leg is always the problem. So that's, like, it's a hint that tells you, there's something wrong.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you would want to work a little bit more on it, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel a tiny bit that,
Yeah.
a little different from the other one.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything significant.
Mm.
You're aware of your body, so you know how much pain you usually have.
So, thank you.
Yes, Donna.
So are the body parts in the hand reflexology locations similar to the foot
Yes.
reflexology location? So one or the other would get to the same place.
Correct. But it's easier to show you on the hand than try and do it on yourself on your feet. Typically,
Sure.
it's a little harder.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, Chris.
Yes, what is the relationship, if any, from reflexology to acupuncture or even acupressure?
They are all complementary. So acupuncture and acupressure are the same in the sense of the maps. They use Chinese meridians and vital energy points. Puncture obviously uses the needles, pressure just uses pressure. Reflexology has the same idea, but our map is just a little bit different. We also use reflex points, which is similar to vital energy. I actually in Mount Vernon work out of an acupuncturist office. So we work together, and here in Bellingham, I've had a few acupuncturists also refer to me. So, yeah.
And if I can ask another question, at the beginning, you mentioned that the foot has 3 arches?
Yes.
That surprises me. I think we're all aware we have this arch of our foot, singular.
There's actually 3 arches in the one arch that you know of. There's the transverse arch, the longitudinal arch, and one more. Yeah. So it's not so much with the hand, although there is an arch in the hand as well, but the feet, it's like the bridge. That's why they build the bridges as an arch, because there's the most stability. So that's the idea with our feet too. When it was built, we actually have arches. If you actually look at the way the bones are put in there, it's built like an arch.
And if I may ask another
Sure.
one, many of us wear orthotics for
Yes.
various reasons.
Yes.
Got from your presentation that there might be reasons why they're not the best for us?
It really depends on where you started life. So the thing is, when if you had a job, I'm sure you ladies did, and you used to wear the pretty heels to work with the cute little, oh, you are so lucky. I used to wear the 3-inch heels with the pointy toes, work on cement floor covered in carpet for 8 hours. Needless to say, bunions, foot problems, blah, 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 not much fun. So that created a big problem for me. So I need arch support at this point. But there's other people that did not start out in the same situation. And by arch support, I don't mean the little support that they put in the runners just to do a little bit of something. I'm talking orthotics. Not everybody needs true arch support orthotics is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out, so I was put in arch supports at age 14 because I had flat feet. 14, I had flat feet. And then when I was like 26, 27, I was having a lot of arch problems. I have bones that pop out of place now. I find out I should have never had arch supports because I didn't have flat feet.
Mhm.
So now I need arch support because my bones keep popping otherwise. It's a catch-22.
Mhm.
Michele, do you want to pop up your screen that shows your information about
Oh,
how to
sure.
contact you? That would be great.
Yep.
And I'll also have that on the YouTube recording.
Okay. Let me just share my screen. There you go. And I'm at 1200 DuPont. It's right across from Juanita Thai, if you know where that is, or the North Coast Credit Union. And I do it by appointment. So there's my email address, or my website, my phone number, my email address is on the website. And if you guys just want to talk, I'm more than happy to chit chat and give you more information about reflexology.
Well, thank you. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. It was very relaxing.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Because you're also just focusing on yourself. Everything else goes away. You stop having to look at the clock, check your phones, all that kind of stuff. And it's just, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So everybody, if you want to say thank you to Michele
No,
for a great
thank you,
presentation.
Michele.
Thank you, Michele.
Thank
Michele.
Hi,
You are welcome.
thank you very much.
you. Learned a lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Michele.
Thank you.